Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dive into the incredibly vast map of your genetic code, and we'll be meeting the highly trained professionals who actually help you navigate it. You know, understanding your genetic makeup really offers a literal glimpse into the foundation of who you are.
But first, get a load of this staggering statistic. Every single human being on Earth shares almost 99.99% of the exact same genetic code. That is wild, right? It means that only a microscopic fraction of a percent dictates the biological nuances that make your wellness journey completely unique to you. And it's that tiny, powerful fraction we're exploring today.
All right, Section 1, the blueprint of you. Let's understand the foundations.
So before we can really navigate this map, we kind of need to know how it's drawn in the first place. Enter your genotype. This is basically the foundation of your unique genetic identity. Housed right there within your 23 pairs of chromosomes, it acts as the ultimate instruction manual. These genes guide the creation of all the essential proteins that run your cellular processes. But as you'll see, this blueprint is far from rigid.
This is where human diversity really kicks in. Genes actually come in different forms or variants called alleles, and whether you happen to carry affected or non-affected variants directly influences your specific traits and your susceptibility to certain health conditions. It is literally the root of our biological individuality. Now, sequencing this entire blueprint used to be an absolutely astronomical undertaking. Back when the Human Genome Project began in 1990, mapping human DNA cost an estimated $5 billion. $5 billion! Today, well, thanks to high-throughput automation, unlocking your own personal genetic data costs less than a decent pair of running shoes, often under $200. It's a real game changer.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, Nature, Nurture, and Jing. Let's talk about the power of lifestyle.
Here's the thing. Having the map is really just step one. We absolutely have to understand how our daily environment dynamically interacts with our foundational genetics. As this quote perfectly sums up, genetic vulnerability is not some predetermined fate. Think of your family history not as a final verdict, but as a wake-up call motivating you to make healthier choices. Basically, your genes load the gun, but your behavior and environment, they pull the trigger.
Traditional Chinese medicine actually captures this interaction beautifully through a concept called Jing, which is our vital essence. So you have prenatal Jing, which is your inherited, finite genetic foundation from your parents. That's nature. But then you have postnatal Jing. This is the essence you acquire throughout your life through nutrition, rest, exercise, and how you manage stress. That's nurture. Your daily habits literally preserve and influence your foundational genetics. Next up, Section 3, Mapping the Omics Universe. We are going beyond the genome.
Mapping the genome was an incredible scientific milestone, for sure. But it was just the beginning. The whole Omics universe goes way, way further. By taking simple samples, scientists can examine your epigenome to see how environmental factors influence gene expression without actually altering the DNA itself. They can look at your transcriptome for active gene expression, your proteome to see the proteins doing the heavy lifting, and your metabolome for metabolic pathways. Taken all together, along with your microbiome and autoantibodyome, this gives researchers a wonderfully holistic, multi-layered view of exactly what is happening inside your body right at this very moment.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Genetic Navigators. Let's meet your guides to wellness.
Honestly, with all this dense, complex data, we really need expert navigators to translate these biological maps into actionable health strategies. The first is the geneticist. Operating primarily in the lab, these trained scientists investigate how your genes are inherited, and they uncover the genetic basis for complex conditions, ultimately developing the very tests and therapies we rely on. Next, we have the genetic counselor. Think of them as your personal translator and guide. They take the raw, often overwhelming scientific data from the lab, and they help you process what it actually means for you and your family. They help you navigate both the medical and the emotional implications so you can make truly informed decisions.
And meanwhile, working in the background, we have the whole field of functional genomics. Experts here are the ones crunching the massive, and I mean massive amounts of raw data generated by all those omes we just explored. Relying on advanced bioinformatics, they extract the critical insights that power modern targeted medicine.
Finally, Section 5, Precision Medicine and Tomorrow. Let's look at the future of genetics.
So, where are all these navigators and maps ultimately leading us? Well, we're moving rapidly beyond just mapping cells and right into active genetic engineering.
We're talking about gene therapy to repair inherited diseases like cystic fibrosis and CRISPR-Cas9 for incredibly precise gene editing. But it goes even further than that, moving from repairing faulty genes to potentially enhancing cognitive traits and even exploring tissue regeneration to reverse aging. It's essentially a biological fountain of youth in the making.
And all of this leads us directly to precision medicine. Look, today millions are born with serious genetic conditions, and complex diseases like cancer have massive genetic components. Precision medicine replaces those broad-brush medical approaches with hyper-targeted solutions. It's a deeply personalized approach where drugs and treatments are tailored with meticulous accuracy to your exact genetic profile and your unique mutations. This promises much faster, far more effective care.
Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. As this technology allows us to not only map our biology, but potentially edit out diseases, enhance our traits, and rewrite the code of life itself, what boundaries will we set? How far will we go in engineering the future of human life? It's a fascinating question, and it's one we'll all have to answer as the wellness revolution continues. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.